see if this is properly lined up here. Alright, should work. Just warm up here a bit, and then I'll go into I think I'm going to go back to it this time. This time I'm going to get back to the nitty, to the gritty. To the nitty and the gritty. Yeah, no. All right, so let's. I'm gonna go. So this time I'm gonna go back to it. This time, back to work. I'm gonna try to check out the E. Uh, 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 what is it? What does that do? E. Blues from the collection of notes, weird collection of notes, as though I'm in the same collection of notes around the key of C. And I'm just gonna try to fix it so that it's around the E. And then I'm going to try to analyze more in depth the differences between that and if I think of myself in the key of E minor, which would be this collection of notes, and then I just sharp the third, versus if I think of myself in E mixolydian. So I'm thinking it's all the same thing, but I'm going to practice my intervals from different nodal perspectives and then see where the shape is from different nodal perspectives and then try to analyze where the differences would be if I look at it from the standpoint of a 7-note collection instead of a pentatonic collection, because that will allow me to then, experiment with it more. That's my idea. It's wacky. It's crazy. But I don't know. That's what I'm going to try to do. Maybe it's not crazy. It's just dumb. That's just a dumb idea. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to do it anyway. It's never stopped me before. Having it be stupid never stopped me before. I'm not going to... Alright. And then I'll try the joke first. Quick joke first. I think this is just pretty much a random pun joke. So, this is what it is. Let's see what we got. It's got, the animation's getting cooler. I think the animation, this is just chat if you're interested. Doing the animation. I think Gemini has some really cool, like, well, this isn't the actual moving animation, right? But I still think, like, this is like the Japanese anime style. So I still think like chat does a pretty good job on that. And then Midjourney can animate images, but it's like, it doesn't do quite as good job as Gemini, but you can get more animations for a price. That's how I see the landscape right now. If you want to copy the technique, not that it's making me millions or anything, but that's what I'm doing. I think people should do a slideshow with their anime. You can make little comic strips. You don't even need to do anything. You don't need to know how to draw, for crying out loud. And they're actually not just stick figures. It's not just a little Viking character with like a dress on because you don't want to draw his hips or anything. It's like it's not a Flintstones. It's actually a good drawing, really. I mean, it's AI slop. I don't know. That's better than what's in the comic strip. It's pretty good for what I needed to do. Okay. Anyway. People think I'm rude, but no. This is a medical condition. I have a medical condition because everyone has a medical condition these days, right? I mean, you go in, I don't even trust doctors these days. You go in, they diagnose you with something. You're better off treating doctors like they used to treat them in like wartime back in like, I don't know, like Civil War era or something. It's like, that's where you go to die. That's where you go to get the morphine because your leg's been blown off. I think that's a safer bet these days. I don't know. Anyways, I have a high tolerance, which sounds good at first, except due to my introversion, we're talking high as in greetings, a high tolerance. So actually, my high tolerance is quite low. I have a quite low high tolerance due to my introversion. So yes, I know it sounds strange to have a very low high tolerance, but because high is like the high greeting thing. So most people don't understand because they don't even notice how many highs they receive. They don't count them. But I'm an accountant as well, so I have a high costs. It costs me something every time. It's energy, it's focus, it's peace, a piece of my soul with the high tolerance. Actually, I have to log them in. And then make sure that I count closer than calories, the highs. By the third, hey, I'm already budgeting. By the fifth, I'm insolvent. I don't have social anxiety. I have a high quota. Some people peak socially at high noon. I peak at one nod. Okay? So I wrote a song about it. I've never heard it before. First impressions on the song. Seems like a difficult thing to write a song about, a stupid pun joke. But Suno can do it. Suno. Let's see what it does with that one.
People think I'm rude. No, this is an attitude. It's a diagnosed situation. Call it social conservation. I got a high tolerance, sounds impressive at first, but wait, wrong context. Here's a curse, I'm an introvert, so let me clarify. We're talking high as in greetings, not the guy. Yeah, it sounds absurd, I get the stare. But my high tolerance is paper thin, I swear. I got a low high tolerance, can't spend them like they're free. Every hello takes a toll on me, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I'm not cold, I'm not unkind, I'm just budgeting my time. I got a low high tolerance, that's the limit line. No, no, no. Most folks don't notice how many highs they get. They toss them out like spare change, no debt. But every single one costs me something real. Energy, focus, a piece of how I feel by the third. Hey, I'm checking accounts, doing mental math, cutting greeting amounts. High tolerance, balance running thin. By the fifth one hits, yeah, I'm officially in. I don't have social anxiety, no disorder to claim. I'm not afraid of people, I just ration the same. I don't panic, I own it. I got a high quota, that's the rule of the land. Some folks peak socially at high noon, man, but I peak early, that's my zone. And with me, nah, and then I'm done. I got a high quota, that's the rule of the land. Some folks peak socially at high noon, man, but I peak early, that's my zone. And we're one clean, nah, and then I'm done. And then I'm done. Yeah. One knob, strong knob, can't see.
All right. A high tolerance. I've got a low high tolerance. Got a low high tolerance. All right. uh, that's actually kind of catchy. I think that's a song. That should be a song. That should be a song. I thought it would be hard to make a song out of that, but no. That's song material right there. That's like perfect, catchy song material. Got a low high tolerance. On a all right. So what was I on here? I'm on. So I'm thinking about this one now. This is a collection of notes around the key of C. So C back to A. That would be position 1. I'm thinking. So the box is here that I'm looking at. I'm gonna try to play the minor kind of bluesy sound. So I'm gonna alter the third and back. I'm gonna alter the third back. Right, that's what I was doing. But so I was here though. So I was on this one, this E. I was analyzing this E, I suppose. And if I do it on that E, I'm gonna say, what is all this? What was I thinking? I don't know what I was doing with all this. Let's just move this out of the way. I got confused. Let's check it over here. Yeah, I was on this node. I think I was just doing like a lean forward on the same string. So let's say that's the note I'm on. What would be the third of the Phrygian? So it's a minor, but I'm not looking at A minor. I'm not looking at Aeolian minor and this shape. I'm looking at the Phrygian minor, trying to adjust my footstool. Phrygian minor. Okay, so 3 minus 1 would be 2. So that would be 2 modal whole steps up from nodal point 3, 3, 4, 5. So that would be the Mixolydian. So let's try to analyze up top more this time. So now I kind of touched on that last time, but now I'm gonna focus on that Mixolydian. So that means the 5th is the first modal whole step, which is the second modal half step, which is the third scale degree away. I'm sorry, the nodal point number 5 is the first modal whole step, second modal half step, third scale degree away from nodal point number 3, which is the Phrygian. So Phrygian to Mixolydian has a distance of how many notes away? 4 notes away, or 3 notes away if it was a clockwise distance, because it's a minor distance, but I'm going counterclockwise, so it would be negative 12 minus 3, or 8. So that would be 5 notes between the strings, negative 5, negative 10. Sorry, it would be 9, and then 9, right? Because 12 minus 3 is 9, not 8, if I do my math right. If I know how to do. I thought you were an accountant. Yeah, but I have computers. I have Excel. So, and then if I take, what about the fifth? So the 5 minus 1 is 4 modal whole steps up from nodal point number 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So nodal point number 7 would be the fifth. So nodal point number 7 would be the second modal whole step. 2 times 2 would be fourth modal half step. 4 plus 1 would be the fifth scale degree. How many notes away is it? Well, we just have to know from the half step perspective that it's almost always 7 notes away to get to the second modal whole step, fourth modal half step, third scale degree, except if you're going from the Locrian node. So we're going to say there's 5 notes, but I'm going counterclockwise, 12 minus 7, 5 notes between the strings. Boom. All right, and then what about the 7? So 7 minus 1 would be 6. So 6 up from nodal point number 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2 would be 2. Nodal point number 2. So I have one here. So that would be the third modal whole step, which would be 3 times 2 is 6 modal half steps, plus 1 would be the 7th scale degree away. So that means that the Dorian is the third modal whole step, 6th modal half step, 7th scale degree away from the Phrygian, which has a minor distance because it's going from a minor node of 10 notes away, but I'm going negative 10 because I'm going to the string above it. So, I'm going in the negative direction, so it'd be 10 minus 2, which would be negative 2 notes away. So negative 5 between the strings, 4, 3, 2. So 2 notes away, muy b to the n, muy bien. All right, so what would be different about this collection of notes than the A minor collection of notes? I always just kind of want to emphasize it because I could say, well, it's going to be the fact that it has a 1 note away minor second. So the first modal half step, the 1 note away distance, which is equivalent to the 4th modal whole step because it has a local distance, right? The 4th modal whole step would be like the 8th modal half step, 9th scale degree, and is equivalent to the 9th is equivalent to the 2nd, right? So if I drop it down by 1, this distance has a local distance of 1 note away instead of 2. That's what's different than the minor node. So when I'm noodling around this, if I want to emphasize the weirdness that I'm thinking about this, or if I want to not emphasize it, then I'm gonna either emphasize that note or not, right? I'm gonna say in the box, do I want to touch that note right there, or leave it alone to emphasize the fact that I'm not really going from the minor to the major, but really I'm doing that Mixolydian thing. So right, if I'm down, so if I'm here, and this third, by the way, I'm going to sharp that third. I'm going to bring it up to the major third. So if I'm noodling here to the bluesy thing, if I stay away from this note, if I stay away from this note, then it's going to be kind of like the normal blues to the most part, right? But what if I add that second note? I'm just kind of mixing it in there to get that flavor in there. Right, then let's compare that and let's say, okay, well, what if I looked at the collection of notes this way, and I say now I'm going to say I'm in the collection of notes around No, wait a sec. I was on the wrong node that whole time. What am I doing? I'm up here on the G. I'm supposed to be back here. Sorry about that. So that was so this one's right next to it. There we go. All right. So now let's try that. Now let's try that over here. My head is starting to work. I'm starting to understand what I'm doing here. So now I'm in the collection of notes around the E again, but this time I'm going to make it the Aeolian. So if I make it the Aeolian, I could say, well, that means on the top string, that's the open E. Aeolian is going to be the E. I could put my pinky on it, and then I go back and say, okay, what's the major collection of notes, just so I know where the major collection of notes would be. And it would be right here, which is going to be, is that right? I'm on E minor, back to, it should be, that's not E, this is the wrong collection of notes. E minor would be this one. Let's look at this one. It would be back to F sharp or G flat. All right, wait a sec. Now I got mixed up. Now this is the E minor collection of notes. So if this was the minor, well, it should be going forward. Yeah, this is the minor over to the major here. So this would be position 1. This is position 1, and I'm in the minor node in that position. Okay, so now let's analyze that. So where's the third if I go above it? 3 minus 1 is 2 modal whole steps, so I'm looking for the one that's 2 modal whole steps up from 6, 6, 7, 1, because it goes around the horn. So that means here's the distance, there's the 1. I'm going to sharp, and that's the one I still have to move it in between if I want to make it major bluesy. So I'm going to move that to the right. And then I have, what about the 5th? 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 modal half steps up from the 6. So 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Nodal point number 3 now. So now nodal point number 3 is the 2nd modal whole step times 2, 4th modal half step plus 1, 5th scale degree away from nodal point 6, which has a distance once again of 7 notes away. But I'm going in the counterclockwise direction. Therefore, 12 minus 7 is 5. 5 notes between the strings here. And then what about the 7? 7 minus 1 is 6. So it's 6 modal whole steps up from nodal point 6. 6, 7, 8. No, wait, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nodal point 5. So that would be nodal point on the Mixolydian. And it has a distance away of 10 notes away, a minor distance. And it's counterclockwise, so I'm going -2 distance. 12 minus 10, -2, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, where's the weird one? Right there. So the weird note is that major second, which would be like the 9th, right? So that would be from a modal standpoint, that would be 5 notes. I mean, that would be the 4th modal whole step, which would be the normal distance, meaning it would be an octave up, right? 4th modal whole step, which would be the 8th modal half step, which would be the 9th scale degree. But if I bring it down to the local distance, 8 modal whole steps minus 7 is 1. So it's 1 modal whole step up, which has a distance of 2 notes instead of 1 note up. So this is the same. So I come up with the same thing, right? I'm trying to smear this third. What? I keep on going to the wrong spot. Trying to smear that third. But I can also now I have a whole note away distance. So where's the box? The whole box is above right here. And when I'm fingering, I'm probably thinking not in position 1. I'm thinking of myself in like position 2 or the Ionian E major shape, right? Ionian E shape. And I'm smearing outside the shape. Okay. So let's say now let's put that same collection of notes, but now I'm going to visualize it as though I'm in Mixolydian. So let's try to make sure I'm going to try to keep my finger where I want it to be. Otherwise, I want to be up here in the middle. So I keep doing that. And so that's going to, so I'm going to say, all right. So now I'm in the collection of notes around Mixolydian. Now Mixolydian's a little harder because it's like, okay, I can find the E Mixolydian up top, like here, but then it's like, okay, well, but now I want to figure out where the Ionian is, right? So I could try to count it out on one string, maybe, or I could just try to figure it out, right? So I could say, well, five. If I'm on nodal point number 5, how many modal half steps does it take to get back to the Ionian? It's 5, 6, 7, and then 1. So it takes 3 modal whole steps. 3 modal whole steps is the 4th scale degree, which has a distance of 5 notes away, right? So that's one way. So I could say, well, if I was on an open E, it should be 5 notes away to get to the Ionian. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, did I do that right? So open E goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So now I'm in the collection of notes around A as the major, and then if I go back here, there's the minor. Now it's the minor's F sharp or G flat. So this would be position 1, what I would call position 1 right there. So now I'm like, and if I was thinking of that as position 1, where's nodal point number 5? It should be the E that I want right now, right? So if that's a 6 that I'm starting on, Aeolian, I'm just going to count from there. I'm not going to renumber it. I'm just going to say 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the 5 in position number 1, or in the Ionian G shape, right? Okay, so if that's the 1, so now let's do it again. So if I'm looking for the third, minus 1, it's 2 modal half steps up from nodal point 5, 5, 6, 7. So I'm looking for nodal point number 7, which now is out here. So now that has a distance from a major node. So I'm looking at the first modal whole step. 1 times 2 is the second modal half step, plus 1 would be the third scale degree, which has a distance from a major nodal point as nodal point number 5, Mixolydian, of 4 notes away instead of 3. But I'm going negative direction because I'm going upwards. 12 minus 4 is 8. So it should have a distance of negative 8. 5, 10, 9, 8. Boom. And then I'm going to smear it from going outside the 3 note away distance to inside the 4 note away distance. Okay, how about the 5? So the 5th minus 1 is 4 modal half steps up. So 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. So I'm looking for the Dorian. So that means the Dorian is 2 modal whole steps times 2, 4 modal half steps plus 1, 5th scale degree away from nodal point number 5, Mixolydian, which has a distance of 7 notes away, because the second modal whole step, which is the fourth modal half step, which is the fifth scale degree, always has a 7 note away distance unless you're on the Locrian node. But I'm going counterclockwise, so it's going to be 12 minus 7, which is 5, and there's 5 notes between the strings. All right, what about the 7? 7 minus 1 is 6. So now we're going to say from nodal point 5, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for nodal point number 4. So I have nodal point number 4 up here, like above it, so I can kind of noodle around with that one. And I can also say that it would be 6 minus 1 to get to the one behind, or 5 minus 1 to get to the one behind it, which would be 4. And so that means that nodal point number 4, Lydian, is, I could think of it as the 4th modal whole step, which would be the 8th modal half step, which would be the 9th scale degree. But the 8th modal half step also has a local distance, which would be 8 minus 1, 8 minus 7, or 1. So it would be, did I do that right? So it would be the 4th modal whole step. No, I'm looking for the 7. The 7 is 3 modal whole steps plus times 2, which is 6 modal half steps, plus 1 7th scale degree. And it's a distance of 10 notes away, minor 7, but I'm going above it. 12 minus 10 is 2, so it's 2 notes away. Okay, negative 2, so it'll be 5, 4, 3, 2. I was thinking about this one. So this is the one, so what's the one that's different in this collection of notes? Well, I kind of have this one that's different, but it's not really different from the Aeolian, but it is different from the collection of notes we started with, because most of them have a major second. So that major second then is the one that you could think of it as the 4th modal whole step, which would be the 8th modal half step, plus 1 would be the 9th scale degree. But if it's 8 modal whole steps up, modal half steps up, it's over 7. Therefore, it also has a local distance of 8 minus 7, or 1. So this nodal point number 6, Aeolian, is 1 modal half step up, and it's 2 notes away. So what's the other difference? So if I smear, so I have a difference here on the 3rd, but it's going to be the same as the Aeolian. When it's going to be the same as when I was thinking of myself as the root in Aeolian, except that I'm going to smear into the shape instead of going out of it. What's the other difference that I have here? Well, Aeolian has a minor 6, an 8 note away minor 6, and the Mixolydian has a 9 note away minor 6, right? I mean major 6. So if we look at the 6th, the 6 minus 1 is 5 modal half steps up. So if I'm looking at nodal point 5, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. So this nodal point number 3 right here is the thing that's different from the Mixolydian to, if I was looking at the Aeolian and smearing up the 3rd versus the Mixolydian and smearing down the 3rd, because now I have this 9 note away distance. Now, if you were in a pentatonic situation, you would just ignore it because it's going to cause you trouble, or it could, but you might as well recognize it and see when you can add it. So it would be 6 notes away. So I can think about that as, well, that would be the 6th, which would be like, that would be like the 6th modal half step, which would be the 12th modal, it would be the 6th modal whole step, which would be the 12th modal half step, plus 1 would be the 13th scale degree, which has a local distance of the 6th, 13 and the 6th, or 12 minus 1, 13 minus 1 is 12, and then 12 minus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, is the local distance of the 5th modal half step. So that gets a little bit messy when you start. So I need more practice to try to say that smoothly, so I don't just totally turn people off to that idea. So but I'm gonna have to say it ugly until I can say it smooth. You're just trying to say it smooth because you know it's lame. No, it's not lame. That's the way you should. That's the way we should think about it. It's just. Anyway, so. So now the box is kind of up here now. So instead of the box being right here, because what am I thinking of myself? I'm in position 1. So yeah, the box is out here. All right, movie B to the N. Whew. Let's try going back. Let's try. Let's try the. Let's say we lean it down this way. Did I do this way before? Not sure if I did this yet. So let's say we're leaning it down this way. So that means where's the third? So once again, 3. So now I'm looking at the collection of notes around the key of C. So position 1, there's the C on the top string, back to A. So position 1 would be on here. So now I'm in this position. So that would be behind position 1. So this would be position 5, which I usually think, if you think of the top string, would be a Mixolydian position. But I'm trying to get back to the this Lydian. Maybe I should make the root one a different color, because that red one makes me think that that's like the main one. Let's make this one like green or yellow, green, yellow, green. Okay, so now the green is the one we're on. Is that the best green? I don't know. I feel like this is really bright green. Recent colors. I don't know where these recent colors came from. But let me try it. Let's try like this green. And then, okay, let's just go with that. Okay, that's where I'm on. That's the note I'm on. So then 3 minus 1 is 2. So 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking for a nodal point number 5. So now leaning forward, there's not a good, the problem is we don't have a good third leaning forward until we go way down here. It's kind of like, it's kind of a, and that's that. Okay, so that'll be the third down here. And then we're going to say, so that means it should be the first modal whole step, which is the second modal half step, which is the third scale degree, which has a distance from a minor node of 3 notes away. So that's, if I count that out, It'd be 5 notes between the strings, 10, and then 15. That would be 15 is to get to the local distance. 15 minus 12 would be 5 minus 3 would be 15 minus 12. It's 5 minus 2, which is 3 notes away. Okay, so that makes sense. And then this one would need to be smeared up if I want to make it a major. So then I'm on from the Phrygian. What about the 5? 5 minus 1 is 4 modal half steps up. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm looking for the 7. So that's going to be this one, the Locrian node. So that means the Locrian node is the second modal whole step times 2, fourth modal half step plus 1, fifth scale degree from nodal point 3. Phrygian node has a distance of 7 notes away. This is the local distance, so that's what it is. 5, 6, 7 between the strings, 5 notes between the strings, 6, 7. All right, so then, okay, so what about the 7? 7 minus 1 is 6, so 6 modal half steps up from nodal point 3 or 1 back. 3 minus 1 is 2, or going forward. 6 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, or you could try to simplify the math in your mind, right? I can go 1 back, or I can say, look, if I'm going 6 steps forward and I'm on nodal point number 3, why don't I just start at 6, right? Instead of starting at 3 and then counting up 6, right? So I could say, well, 6, 7, 1, 2, counting up the 3 point, right? So 2. So that would be this nodal point number 2, and it should have a distance of 3 modal half steps times 2, 6 modal whole steps plus 1, 7th scale degree, which has a distance of a minor distance of 10 notes away, which we could double check by just saying it's 5 notes between the strings and then 10 as we go up this way because of the fault line, the kink in the tuning. Shift this fault line to the right. So again, the weird note is here. So I'm kind of like on the box, and if I want to emphasize the fact that this is different because I'm thinking of myself in Phrygian, then I can emphasize this minor second. If not, I could try to think in my mind, well, that minor second is the weird one. So if I want to convert this shape into like the Mixolydian shape or into the related minor, I can kind of be like, oh, well, that second is the weird one. So maybe I make that a major second. But if I want to emphasize like it's Phrygian that I'm playing with, then I'm going to throw that one in. So that's going to be that shape right there what is that shape? That's a D minor shape. If I did it this way, it would be a D minor shape, and I could grab another root up here. It's an E chord, but a D shape, a D minor shape, right? And then, so I could do that, but, so that's interesting. I want to make it like major, so that means I'm going to shift this third right there up to here. And then I can bar this off to get the 7. Is that right? No. This one. And then I can grab this one to get that 7. Obviously, I don't play the shape back here, at least not back here that much. I'm kind of used to it up here, but not so much back here. this string that I want to mute, which is kind of a problem because I want the bottom string to ring out. I don't know. I'm getting tired. I'm just gonna noodle around for a while. I'm trying to practice like the rolls forward, and I can roll through. I can roll through the notes that are outside the key, and I can practice patterns like if I go up and down. I'm just kind of rolling 3 notes every time. And then 2 notes every time. And then you can vary between them to make it not sound so uniform. Trying to do the smear thing here. It's different than doing this. a double. I feel like I should be good at that motion. I feel like if anybody can do it, I can do it. I tell you.
Thank